Good afternoon, everyone. The June 3rd, 2025 meeting of the Seattle City Council will come to order. It is 2:04. I'm Sarah Nelson, Council President. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moore,
Present.
Councilmember Rink, Councilmember Rivera,
Present.
Councilmember Saka,
Here.
Councilmember Solomon,
Here.
Councilmember Strauss,
Present.
Councilmember Hollingsworth,
Here.
Councilmember Kettle,
Here.
Council President Nelson.
Present.
8 present.
Thank you very much. All right, Councilmember Solomon has a proclamation proclaiming 2025 to be Wing Luke Year in Seattle. Councilmember Solomon will share comments on the proclamation, and then I'll open the floor for comments from council members. And then after council member comments, we'll suspend the rules to present the proclamation to our guests and allow our guests to provide brief comments themselves. Councilmember Solomon.
Thank you, Council President. Colleagues, this proclamation was first intended to celebrate Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month in May by looking at the individual contributions of the 11 Asian American council members who have served this body since 1962. When Wing Luke broke through the barrier of Asian exclusion, paving the way for 10 more to follow so far. What we found in Wing Luke's family history, though, is a lesson for our age, a lesson of what we stand to lose if the voices of nativism and xenophobia prevail, a lesson that couldn't be more necessary in 2025. Wing Luke came to Seattle at the age of 6, persevering over the deportation of his own grandfather, who ran a laundry here for decades earlier. Though well established here with his family, Wing Luke's grandfather was forced to leave the country due to the federal government's Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. Through stubborn resilience, his family maintained a presence in Seattle so that Wing Luke could thrive when he moved here in 1931. Today's immigrants, undocumented and documented alike, face uncertainty and deportations driven by the same nativist and xenophobic impulses which nearly robbed Seattle of Wing Luke's brilliance and legacy. Just last week, the Secretary of State announced that starting this week, the U.S. will aggressively revoke visas held by Chinese students. So, on this 100th birthday year of Wing Luke, I hope we'll remain mindful of all that we stand to lose when immigrants are taken from Seattle. And with that, and before I introduce the interim director of the Wing Luke Museum, I do want to acknowledge the council members that have served this body who are of Asian American descent, including Councilmember Kshama Sawant, Councilmember David Della, Councilmember John Okamoto, and Councilmember Tanya Wu. Thank you for serving this city. And with that, I'd like to introduce Kamahana Hokulani. Did I say that right? Yes. Kamahana Hokulani for our interim director of the Wing Luke Museum, who will be accepting our proclamation declaring Wing Luke Year in Seattle. Yes.
My back to you all. Thank you very much. I'm Kamahana Hokulani Farrar. On behalf of the Wing Luke Museum, I want to first thank the council for acknowledging our namesake, Wing Luke, and congratulations to all the folks that have served. Wing Luke is so important to us today. He stands as an inspiration for all of us as we do our work on behalf of the communities we serve. So thank you.
Okay, did we want comments for the?
Sure. I will now, are there any council members that would like to provide comments? Looking at, not seeing any hands raised here. Some of us may have spoken previously. I would like to thank you, Councilmember Solomon, very much for bringing this forward. And it occurs to me that when most Seattleites hear Wing Luke, we think of a museum. And this proclamation reminds us that he was a human being who had suffered and overcome, and left a legacy for the rest of the city to as an educational tool, but also as cultural glue. And so that is particularly why I like this proclamation, because it brings the humanity back into the name of a museum. So thank you very much for bringing this forward. All right, not seeing anything else. Would you like are there any further comments or anything else that you would like to add?
Nope.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here today and accepting this proclamation in honor of Wing Luke. All right. Would you like to have usually we take a photo of the presentation, so go ahead. This is not the opportunity for, right now we are just simply presenting a proclamation. I asked my colleagues to speak. This is now not the opportunity for the public to speak. Colleagues, at this point, we will now begin our hybrid public comment period. And we do have a tradition of allowing, we have right now, at this time, we'll open the hybrid public comment period. Public comment is limited to items on today's agenda, the introduction and referral calendar, and the council work program. Clerk, how many speakers are signed up today?
So far, we have 18 in person and 12 remote.
Okay.
Speakers will be called in the order in which they are registered. We will alternate between.
Now is the opportunity for council members, former council members. We usually ask council members and former electeds and present electeds to speak first in public comment. You're recognized to speak. Councilmember Sawant, former Councilmember Sawant. And how many people did you say?
We have 17 in person and 12 remote so far.
Okay, we will allow for 1 minute each. Go ahead, please.
I think it is absolutely shameful. It's a spectacle for you to say you're honoring Asian council members and put somebody like me alongside John Okamoto and Tanya Wu, who are completely corporate sellouts and stooges of big business and corporate landlords. Mark Solomon was one of the 2 council members who voted yes in committee against, in favor of watering down ethics laws. What about the 10% of Asian working class households that face eviction every year? What about the 11% of Asian working class households that are under the poverty line, which itself is an inadequate poverty line? It is a sham for you to carry out these types of meaningless proclamations on ethnic and religious lines, when in reality you are selling out working class people of every ethnicity, every religion, every nationality, regardless of whether they are immigrant or non-immigrant. And most of all, the Democratic Party is selling out the Palestinian people in the face of this horrific genocide with 400,000 people being massacred. That is why I am running as an independent socialist against warmonger.
Your time has expired. Thank you very much.
Please
have your seat.
The City Council in their attempted attack on renters' rights.
Your time has expired.
We win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
Let me just say one thing first. I forgot to mention that we do have, 9 pieces of legislation to vote on today, so I will be limiting public comment to an hour as before, just because we have to have an end time to get through our business before people have other things to do afterwards. So please, former Councilmember Della.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Council Member, for sponsoring this. Solomon, and for sponsoring this. I want to get back to honoring Wing Luke, okay? And that's why I'm here, and that's why former council members are here. Let me just say that Wing Luke was the person that I stood on his shoulders when I got elected here to the Seattle City Council back in 2004. And I remember during our swearing-in ceremony, part of that was for me to speak about the legacy of Wing Luke and his impact on the city. And the only thing I will add here to the resolution is, Wing Luke not only represented the community well, but he also transcended big issues in the city. If many of you will remember that he was the council member that led on the Fair Housing Ordinance passed in the 1960s that took on the redlining in this district. And then the last thing is that he also led in preservation. So he led in efforts to preserve the Pike Place Market and other historical issues here in the city of Seattle. So, Senator Schultz, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we also have former Councilmember Tanya Wu, who would like to speak.
So I too want to thank you for honoring Wing Luke and Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Month. Last year, we talked about how the Chinatown International District is one of the poorest neighborhoods in the city. It's also one of the neighborhoods with the most immigrants and refugees. And we did a lot of amazing work in last year's budget to make sure that the Chinatown International District has safety ambassadors, which just started yesterday. We also had the We Deliver Care roll out in early March. And the mobile treatment van I hear is on track to be revealed in September and August. And being on the ground now in the Chinatown International District every single day, I am seeing the effects of these groups of We Deliver Care, reaching out to people at 12th and Jackson, safety ambassadors at the park yesterday, talking to our seniors. And also the excitement about how this treatment van will be helping those on 12th and Jackson who interact often. And so I want to say thank you. We're seeing the effects of work that was done last year, and we're so very thankful and grateful for everything, and we need much more. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaking out of turn is a violation of our council rules. I have been informed that that former Representative Dawn Mason is also signed up to speak. So let's key her up to provide comment at this point. Did you hear Jody?
And this is remote speaker.
Yes, it's a remote speaker.
you.
I'm sorry, I neglected to say that, yes.
Give me a minute.
Don Mason, go ahead, please. You may need to press *6.
All right. Okay, I'm unmuted now, right?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, good. You can hear me. I can hear you. Thank you, council members, for taking my public comment. It's one I think residents and any clear-thinking person should hear. A former council member, Sawant, she just spoke, but she has spoken before in so a disrespectful way of council member Hollingsworth and any who identify as Black and those who align with us. She's disrespectful. She's taken it upon herself to put on record that she is or has been the advocate for vulnerable people or non-whites, and she clearly is not an advocate or a spokesperson for African Americans, and from what I'm hearing, nor for the Asian American community. So I want our sitting council members to know we aren't listening to her. We do not want you to listen to her. She is a source of confusion. She has used African Americans. She's been divisive, and she should go away. We don't want her, and she does not align with us.
I appreciate your comments. You were, you might not have been able to hear what was going on in here, but I was not able to hear the rest of some of your comments because of booing in the chambers. So please do send your comments to council so that we can hear the rest of your remarks. All right, let's go on to the next Are there any other former electeds that are signed up on our remote that I'm not seeing yet? I do not see anybody. Are there any electeds that are that have signed up for public comment? We'll go ahead with you, and otherwise we'll go ahead with the rest of our folks that are signed up on the public comment sign-up sheet.
Yeah, Jody, do you want to read the instructions real quick?
Yes, speakers will be called in the order they are signed up for. We'll begin with in-person speakers and then move to remote speakers. Speakers will hear a chime when 10 seconds are left of their time. Speakers' mics will be muted if they do not end their comments within the allotted time to allow us to call on the next speaker.
All right, the first 10 speakers, you can please line up on both microphones, starting with Eleanor, then Diane, John, Jim, Karen, Gwendolyn, Paul, Calvin, and Summer. Speaker number 1, Eleanor.
I'm Eleanor, and I wanted to talk to you about an illegal encampment on Roy Street and Harvard Avenue East. Things like this are getting very difficult for me. I'm 86, and it's not easy for me to take a longer route to get to my son because I don't want to walk by a place where somebody may come out with a knife or a gun, crazy on drugs, which they're doing. They take drugs, they sell them. It's right there on the sidewalk in the middle of the city. Are you people okay with that? I can't believe it. Seattle has to find a solution for this problem. As I said, it's getting harder for me. I'm older than all of you. I've lived in a number of different places, and I never had to grow up with this. I realize that life has changed, but there must be a way of dealing with it.
Thank you.
Speaker 2.
Hi, I'm Diana, and I've been a resident of North Capitol Hill and worked on North Capitol Hill for over 20 years now. And the last, I don't know if you can hear me, the last 5 years or so, we've just seen such a decline in the area, and we're receiving no help, no assistance, or very limited, I shouldn't say no. And I am very concerned. I'm going to just hold up a couple pictures. This is a guy doing drugs this last week. This is a lady who, after probably buying drugs from the same encampment, is passed out with her feet out on the ground, out on the street. And here are people illegally cutting back city bushes to make room for their encampments. Here's a guy with his pants down, and something needs to be done. We need to start criminalizing this illegal behavior. These are not people who are.
Speaker 3.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm John Scholes with the Downtown Seattle Association, and pleased to be joined by my colleagues Dwight, Jules, James, Colton, Ron, Michael, and Blake, and Johnny. And we see great value in the kiosk program that's before you today. The great people behind me provide directions and help people find their way through downtown each and every day, and see great utility in the kiosk to help fulfill those duties. A number of the folks behind me put on programming, events, concerts, etc. We see great value in these kiosks in promoting and spreading the word to more people in our downtown, visitors and locals alike, to take part in those events. This it has broad support from arts and culture, transit, communities, et cetera. It's consistent with the Seamless Seattle program. You have the charter authority to do it. Ike has a strong track record doing this in 20+ cities around the country, and with a budget deficit, these are the exact type of public-private partnerships you need to be embracing as a city to help rebuild our downtown and our tax base. So thank you for your consideration and for the committee's support of this resolution.
Thank you.
Speaker 4. Jim.
Councilmember Moore withdrew her ethics code proposal not because withdrawal was the right thing to do, but because it was made clear to the entire council that to pursue this reckless, self-interested folly would be political suicide for all involved. The City Council's conflict of interest rules in recent days have been described by various city officials as flawed, unusually rigid, and an outlier. The message to the people of this city was crystal clear: nothing to see here. Go back to sleep, everyone. We, the people, disagree. We regard the current recusal rule as the single best protection standing between us and council members' personal greed, as well as their loyalties to their corporate donors. Rather than a rigid outlier, we say Seattle's Code of Ethics rules should be considered the gold standard that every last jurisdiction across this country should aspire to adopt. Furthermore, you don't need more time to, quote, get it right. The city's requirements, as currently written, are already as right as Seattle is.
Speaker 5.
When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
Every member of this council either knew or should have known exactly what you signed up for when you decided to run for public office. Each of you, no doubt, made a series of campaign promises to win your seats on the council. We, the people, have been here these last weeks to remind you of your promises, and we will be here moving forward. We will dog you, we will disrupt you, we will expose you. We will not leave you in peace when you try to sell us down the river. Finally, we will hold you accountable for your campaign promises, however empty and insincere their origins may have been. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot pursue your own self-interest, satisfy the craven demands of your wealthy donors, and also meet the increasingly urgent real-life needs of the people of this city as an afterthought. Any of you who are confused about these truths need to pack your bags and follow Miss Moore out the door. The people of this city are desperate for leaders who understand what it means to be a true public servant. Thank you.
When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
I'm Gwendolyn Hart, member of Workers Strike Back. Working people beat this attack on renters' rights because we mobilize hundreds of people to City Hall. It goes to show when working people come out to name and shame the political servants of the billionaires, they can't take the heat. You like your latest little proclamations for queer people and Asian people, but can't handle being exposed for trying to throw us out onto the streets. There will always be more attacks coming from the billionaires, like sticking the police on trans people last week, like this disgusting little plan to litter the city with ad-dealing corporate kiosks. We need to go on the offensive against these attacks and the two parties of the billionaires. That's why Shama Sawant is running for Congress against warmongering Democrat Adam Smith, who wrote the checks for Israel's genocidal assault on Gaza, who endorsed City Council President Sarah Nelson, who wants to dismantle our renters' rights victories. We just fought the party of big business and genocide and won. We've done it before. We can do it again. Join Workers Strike Back today and take the fight to the billionaire class, because when we fight,
we win.
When we fight,
we win.
Speaker 7.
I'm Paul Glumas, a board member of the King County Republican Party. The King County Republican Party has a new leadership, and we are hoping to improve the quality of discourse in the public square. You can't do that if you don't show up. My big issue is street addiction and crime being spread and supported by Housing First policies. This affects my neighbors every day. It affects businesses, Metro riders, and a lot more. I think we need to acknowledge that Housing First doesn't work and instead implement a program of treatment first before housing. I think that will go a long way to addressing the problem that was raised by our first two speakers. This has to be done. It's destroying Seattle on every level. We need to change a policy that's not working. And with that, I thank you very much for listening to me.
Speaker 8.
Our movement, led by Workers Strike Back, just defeated this council's shameful attempt to rewrite the ethics laws to pave the way to attack renters. Though we should have no illusions, they won't try again. But when working people win victories under this rotten system, we should always claim victory, because the political establishment wants working people to feel disempowered. We won because we fought back. We politically exposed them in every possible way. We made it clear this wasn't some technical change. It was being done on behalf of the corporate landlords. We also succeeded because we were disruptive, because we chanted, because we called them out, because we made them afraid for their political careers. What they want is to quietly slip the daggers in our backs. We not only didn't let them, we turned the tables on them. Not only did we defeat this attack, there is now one less landlord-owned politician on this council. Our fighting is what's needed to win anything, only we need to do it on a bigger scale, to win free health care for all by taxing the rich, strong rent control, and an end to the genocide in Gaza. This is also why we have launched an independent working class campaign for Congress by Shama Sawant against warmonger Adam Smith on these demands. I hope working class people here will join us. The Asian American Proclamation is an attempt to hide the horrific attacks carried out by many of these politicians.
Thank you very much. Your time is up.
When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
Point of order, Council President. Pretty sure our public comment should not be used for campaign purposes for any individual campaign or person or initiative. And we've seen repeated violations of that already. We shouldn't let this devolve into a platform for a former council member to politically campaign.
Be order. The definitions, there are a lot of definitions of disruption. The one I'm focused on is outbursts from members of the public who've not been recognized by the presiding officer for public comment. Continued disruption of our council meeting and violation of this rule is only slowing us down and preventing other people to speak. But I do recognize your comment. Thank you very much. The next person shall speak.
Democrats like Rob Saka don't want us to talk about working class candidates like Shama Sawant and her fight against warmonger Adam Smith, her fight for Congress on demands like ending the genocide in Gaza to end military aid to Israel, like the demand for rent control, the demand for free health care by taxing the rich. They don't want us to talk about working class campaigns like that because the Democratic Party is threatened by them. The Democratic Party represents the corporate landlords. They represent the military contractors. They represent big business, and they don't want working people to get organized independently to fight back. The actions of Sarah Nelson and the rest of the Democrats on this council are despicable. You just passed a resolution to honor Asian council members without recognizing the impact of your pro-landlord, pro-big business policies on working class Asian people who will be evicted because of you. Shama Sawant fought for 10 years for renters' rights. We won the $15 minimum wage. We defeated the Democrats' attacks on renters' rights, on ethics rules, on the $15 minimum.
Thank you very much. Your time has expired. Please take your seat. You're engaging in disruptive behavior by speaking beyond your allotted time. This is. Please sit down. You've had your time to speak.
Against warmonger Adam Smith, we need to fight for rent control. We need to end the genocide in Gaza. You should be ashamed of yourself. Shama for Congress, join us Wednesday at 6 p.m. at New Hope Baptist Church to build this campaign. Thank you.
I will need to look into the actual rules and law on electioneering during public comment. So note to self. Thank you. To Councilmember Saka's point. Go ahead, please.
Democrats and the corporate landlords were just forced to withdraw their bill to gut Seattle's ethics law. We should be clear about how this victory was won. The Democrats were forced to retreat because Shama Sawant and Workers Strike Back mobilized hundreds of people to City Hall and exposed the way that the Democrats were trying to use this bill to do the bidding of corporate landlords and roll back our renters' rights victory. We didn't win this by being polite or asking nicely or by following Sarah Nelson's so-called rules of decorum. This victory was only possible because we fought back, named and shamed these Democrats, and refused to stay quiet. But let's be clear, this isn't over. The Democrats have shown time and again whose side they're on. We need to be ready to fight back and defend renters' rights and everything we've won. And a warning to the City Council Democrats. The next time you try to take away any of the gains we've fought for, we'll be back even stronger. We need fighters in office. We need to build Shama Sawant's campaign for U.S. Congress to take on the warmongering Democrat Adam Smith and the whole Democratic Party and the Republican Party, both of which have funded this genocide and attacked working people. For 10 years, Shama used her office to build a fighting movement of working people that—
Your time has expired. Please sit down.
Historic
Please be quiet. Sit down. I have to apply these rules fairly to everyone. You do not get any more time than other people. Please have a seat. Your time has expired. You are delaying the normally operation of this meeting by continuing to speak beyond your allotted time.
Would you like to alternate to remote?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Jody, can we go to remote?
Yes, we can. And a reminder to our remote speakers, please press *6 after you have heard the message that you have been unmuted, and you will each have 1 minute. Our first speaker is Howard Gale, and Howard will be followed by Kylie Ald. Go ahead, Howard.
In 2 weeks, on June 18th, it will be the 8th anniversary of the Seattle police killing of Charlena Lyles, killing her unborn child and leaving her 4 children motherless. 9 days after she was killed, City Council members said, quote, "We are already ashamed. What I am pledging to you is to work on finding a new way of doing things so that we actually get different results. And we will demand accountability, transparency, community oversight, and not allow this to happen again." And yet, it kept happening again and again. 9 more people would be killed by Seattle police when they had no weapon or only a knife in their hand. At least 6 of these people experiencing a severe mental health crisis, one of those less than 3 months ago in West Seattle. In every instance, our police accountability system determined these killings to be, quote, lawful and proper, unquote. Is anyone then surprised by the police violence on Capitol Hill 10 days ago? Is it possible to ignore a brutal police killing of a man in crisis 3 months ago and then expect police to be shy about beating and falsely arresting protesters? Council members Solomon and Rink promised 3 months ago to have a community forum to address these issues. Is this yet one more promise broken?
Thank you, Howard. Our next speaker is Kylie Ald, and Kylie will be followed by David Haynes. Go ahead, Kylie.
Good afternoon. My name is Kylie Ald, and I live in Capitol Hill. I'm once again here to raise issues with the misuse of public safety funds as well as the lack of oversight of SPD officers used after last Tuesday's council meeting. On May 27th, after the city council meeting, the same out-of-town hate group that antagonized community members in Cal Anderson on the 24th returned to Seattle, this time to the steps of City Hall to demand an apology. This was an unpermitted event that featured a stage and a band playing music. This did not stop the city from blocking multiple streets and providing dozens, if not 100 police officers to act as security for what was ostensibly a private media event. People were denied entry to this event if they did not meet some arbitrary criteria decided upon by either SPD officers or member of this hate group security team. SPD officers initiated violence with community members on numerous occasions and mainly served only to escalate situations instead of de-escalate them. How much is it costing the city of Seattle to host these events for a group run by far-right activist Matt Shea, the same Matt Shea who defaced the steps of the Capitol, involved in a road rage incident involving a gun, and wrote a manifesto titled "The..."
Our next speaker is David Haynes, and David will be followed by Cynthia Spees. David Haynes.
Multiple individuals are engaging in behavior that is out of order, and this meeting cannot proceed until the order is restored. Next remote speaker, please.
Go ahead, David.
The progressive Democrat who voted to defund the police, exacerbating public safety, has introduced Amendment A of Resolution 32-170 and should be rejected because improving public safety can be enhanced by video feeds from the kiosks to the CCTV to help public safety and FIFA fans stay safe. That said, why is Councilmember Maritza Rivera spending a lot of time calling up and calling out the Ethics Board director? And why is Councilmember Hollingsworth introducing amendments to force the Ethics Board to rush decisions within 5 days and wait a year to correct bad decisions, allowing council to get away with self-dealing conflict of interest? I think council needs to introduce a law requiring City Hall members acknowledge at the beginning of each meeting they have a conflict of interest, because the bad representations have sabotaged the comprehensive plan, putting restrictions to deny livable amenities and weaponizing tree ordinances to appease greedy homeowners that are denying a better choice in home and a better...
Our next speaker is Cynthia Spees, who will be followed by Alberto Alvarez. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Hi. The kiosks are a very tiny financial benefit and utility. These are billboards the vast majority of the time, creating an eyesore throughout Seattle. It's a ridiculous excuse to say that these are for the World Cup, because people who can pay thousands of dollars in international airfare plus lodging and food would also already own smartphones. Own up to the fact that if you vote for these, then you're voting for adding billboards throughout the city. If you choose to anyways, then at the very least make 4 changes. 1, do not allow any cameras to be included inside or mounted on them. 2, add actual privacy protections by A, specifically banning the billboard's collection of IDs, aka MAC addresses, of the Wi-Fi enabled devices that come within range but do not connect to the Wi-Fi, and B, requiring the contract language to disallow the use of tracking or profiling of devices based on their internet history via the Wi-Fi. Residents' privacy should not hinge on the whims of what a private business chooses to have in their privacy policy. 3, don't use the revenue for public safety. Our local arts are chronically underfunded, whereas policing has a bountiful pocketbook. And lastly, 4, these are the deterioration of the Seattle experience, so please read the Seattle Design Commission.
Our next speaker is Alberto Alvarez, who will be followed by Jim Buchanan. Go ahead, Alberto.
The Business Council is an embarrassment. Nelson has brought corruption to the table, endangering freight operations for the city, state, and region, showing no respect to her colleagues, the public at large, or allowing grace and process for duly elected members of council. Her business agenda is a blind crusade for profit, hurting the public good. Nelson is an active threat to stability, endangering people who are making sacrifices to keep their home and live on a shrinking budget. Council has the job of appointing a District 5 member. Take into account that the last appointment you all made was a so-called caretaker who in 5 months took a sledgehammer to our protections and ethics. Get this one right. The choice is public good, not profit and corruption. Have a good day.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jim Buchanan. Go ahead, Jim.
Hello, Council President and council members. This sounds like a blast from the past, all this Sawant stuff, you know, coming around, and this is an old play. You know, I think Sawant, you need to get a new play book. This is old and stale. And let me explain something to everybody there chanting, running around. You do not represent the Black community. Even though you're going over to New Hope or whatever, and I'm going to look into that. You don't represent the Black community. None of you said nothing about the devastation to the descendants of the enslaved. You know, you're all talking out of the side of your mouth. You've manipulated Black people through BIPOC. We're not allowing that no more. So Ron, we're going to follow you around. You know, you're going to get to know us extremely well. You're going to know the Black community more than you ever wanted to.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Stefan Moritz.
Over the course of multiple council meetings.
One second, Stefan.
Jody, could you please repeat that? There was disruption in the chamber.
Sure. Our next speaker, our next remote speaker is Stefan Moritz, followed by Gabriel Jones. Go ahead, Stefan.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Stefan Moritz with Unite Here Local 8. I want to speak to the agenda item pertaining to Memorial Stadium this afternoon. I just wanted to remind you that as part of the original request for proposals for Memorial Stadium, there was language included regarding labor harmony agreements for workers that, you know, may want to organize at Memorial Stadiums. Unite Here represents workers at Seattle Center, at the Space Needle, at Climate Pledge Arena, and we certainly do have an interest in organizing other food service workers who work at Seattle Center. And so as you go through this process, I just want to make sure, because I didn't see it reflected in any of the documents, that this item is still sort of unresolved, and I want to make sure that we work together on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Gabriel Jones, followed by Jackie Kim. Go ahead, Gabriel. Gabriel, are you there? Yes, we can hear you now.
Awesome, lovely. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabriel Jones. Usually I'd be in council greeting all of your lovely faces, but today I'm sadly stuck at home after my third hospitalization from the random and violent police attack on me at Cal Anderson. Now, I'm asking you all to think back to January when we voted on to let police be quote-unquote less lethal again. I stood up after that vote in front of the council that showed it did not care for its people, and I yelled, "Congrats, Seattle. Your Seattle City Council just voted for more dead and injured citizens." Now, 3 months later, I was shown correct. Less lethals were used in ways that would have been against policy 3 months ago. Were used against people who did nothing wrong other than standing up to hate. I simply thought of a council member that represents Capitol Hill that added an amendment to ensure they fire rubber bullets at the ground, as I witnessed rubber bullets being fired 5 feet away center mass at protesters. Now, we are very lucky nobody was killed in Capitol Hill, but we can't wait around until they do. The best time to fix this was 3 months ago. The best time is now. And I'm so glad to see the ethics failed. Sorry, Sarah. Get them next time.
Jackie will be followed by
You are now
Kate.
engaging in disruptive behavior and delaying the orderly progress of this meeting, and it is not in compliance with the council rules.
Good afternoon. I'm Jackie Kern, and until recently, I was a longtime city employee and project manager on the Seattle Center Memorial Stadium project team. I'm speaking today to give my enthusiastic support for the unprecedented partnership among Seattle Public Schools, the Oakview Stadium Partnership, and the City of Seattle that will give rise to a magnificent new Memorial Stadium at Seattle Center. This being said, this new Memorial Stadium will be a legacy for students, youth, and the community, and will transform the heart of Seattle Center. Today marks a momentous achievement after decades of several major efforts to achieve a successful plan to replace the existing 78-year-old stadium. It is uniquely challenging to develop a new stadium to serve students and youth, and that serves a dual duty as an iconic public space at Seattle Center. This new Memorial Stadium is only being achieved through this unprecedented partnership. Today, we thank our partners and the project team, and we look forward to creating.
Thank you. Our last remote speaker is Kate Rubin. Go ahead, Kate.
My name is Kate Rubin. I'm a renter living in District 2. I'm calling today to urge you to vote no on the installation of digital kiosks. These kiosks are visually intrusive, pose safety concerns, and put our data at risk. They will make our sidewalks cluttered and less accessible and flash distracting ads at drivers. They degrade the character of our neighborhoods and make Seattle look like every other city plastered with corporate ads. This kind of homogenization erases what makes our city unique and beautiful. We're already bombarded with so many flashing ads on our phones and computers, it's like we see them when we close our eyes. These kiosks would mean we can't even escape them by going outside. The projected revenue is minimal and doesn't justify selling off our public space. We need real progressive revenue, solutions that actually invest in our communities, not corporate branding on every corner. Vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. That was our last remote speaker signed up.
All right, we'll move back into in-person speakers, and we are starting with speaker number 11 through 16. Speaker 11, it's Bennett, and then Jason Thiel, and then Ellen, Paul, Lauren. So starting with Bennett, and then Jason.
Rock rally on the steps of City Hall a week ago, I wanted to go up to the upper level plaza after it was officially reopened to the public with my sign that said, "Protect trans kids and fundamentally educate these guys." See, it's nice. There were kids there. I made it nice. I put the pink tape. It was larger. This is a photograph of it scaled down with the pink tape in the same places as on the original one. And the police, acting on behalf of City Hall security, said that I could not be there holding a sign making fun of the group below us. To be clear, this was a time when the plaza was reopened to the public. The group down below had signs that were larger than the official 3 foot by 3 foot limit too. And more to the point, they were holding an unpermitted rock concert that violated the noise ordinance by a factor of about 10. I mean, fine, we have rallies that go over the noise ordinance all the time, but you can't have them hold an illegal rock concert and then tell me that I can't hold a sign making fun of them 3 feet by 3 feet. It's cloth. It was not a safety issue. This is viewpoint discrimination. When trans rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up for that! Nazi pig! You give me 18 trespasses. Give one trespass for them.
Speaker 13.
Mr. Zimmerman, you can't speak outside of your term. Go ahead.
I'm a renter here in Seattle and a member of Workers Strike Back. Over the course of the last few weeks, we've been mobilizing working people out to public comment to fight back against the council's attempt to repeal the ethics code and attack the renters' rights victories that we won with Shama's Socialist City Council office. We forced the Democrats on City Council to back off our renters' rights victories, even though their real loyalty is to the real estate industry, the Chamber of Commerce, and the rich. They want to appear pro-worker while doing the bidding of the rich. It is shameful and disgusting for Mark Solomon, who just a week and a half ago voted in favor of repealing the ethics code, to be giving a meaningless proclamation claiming to support Asian American working people that he is simultaneously selling out. That celebrates Tanya Wu, who has been described as a slumlord by her tenants at the Louisa Hotel she runs in the International District. One tenant said, like many folks who are houseless, slumlords like Tanya Wu are why we become homeless. Her business of squeezing low-income tenants and providing substandard housing is a major contributor to rising homelessness. If you cared about working and oppressed people, you would be fighting alongside us for free healthcare, rent control, and an end to the genocide of Gaza. When we fight, we win! When we fight, we win!
Nazi pig, you give me 18 trespass, give trespass one for them.
I believe we're at number 14. Ellen?
My name is Ellen Solid. I've been tracking the legislation on these kiosks for more than a year and have been writing you very long emails, very long letters. I've testified at the Design Commission. I'm the former vice chair of the Design Commission. It has fallen on deaf ears, and I'm deeply disturbed that it feels as though you all have been gaslighted over and over about what these kiosks are and what they'll do. These are a scourge on our landscape. These are a scourge on our environment. Think about the urban character of our city. You're not even getting enough money to make it worthwhile. Look at what other cities have done and how much money Orange Barrel Media has given them. A lot more than they're giving the city of Seattle. Slow this down. Do your due diligence. These are going to flash, each one, 21,700 times a day. That's one. There are going to be 80 of them. Do you really want that? When our children are being told to not look at their screens, you're going to put this on.
Thank you.
Speaker 15. Are you Paula? Yeah, Paula.
Hi. Like Ellen, I've been to all the Design Commission meetings. I've went to the public demonstration. And my question to each of you, have any of you ever seen a full motion digital billboard or a kiosk? I can tell you, no, they have not demonstrated what they're planning to put in our city streets. These are television screens. If you read the fine print, you'll understand there aren't even driver distraction studies yet to know how dangerous this is going to be. But I called around to experts with the federal government, and we know that these are going to be crucial to our streets. So that's a safety issue. These are standard units bought by Durascan out of Taiwan. These are not, I'm sorry.
You have 8 seconds more.
Oh, I also decided after 45 years that I'm leaving the city of Seattle, moving out of downtown. I'm going to move my office elsewhere. I'm just
Thank you.
The last two speakers is number 16, Lauren, and then Alex Zimmerman.
Good afternoon. My name is Lauren Lundberg, and I serve as the Deputy Director of the SoDo Business Improvement Area. I'm here today to voice our strong support for Resolution 32170 regarding the installation of interactive media kiosks. These kiosks represent a significant step forward for the SoDo District. By offering wayfinding tools and real-time transit information, they will help visitors and workers better navigate our neighborhood and access its wide range of businesses and amenities. Importantly, these kiosks will also elevate the visibility of local businesses, connecting the public with SoDo's cultural landmarks and hidden gems that too often go unnoticed. This initiative represents a chance for revenue sharing with the business improvement area, providing us with additional resources to reinvest in our district that enhances cleanliness, community engagement, and connectedness. Interactive media kiosks bring modern public serving infrastructure to our streets and align with SOTO's ongoing efforts to create a welcoming, accessible district.
Thank you.
Alex?
Sieg Heil, my dirty damn Nazi Gestapo fascist pig. My name Alex Zimmerman. I support Trump from beginning. I have 5,000 time speak, 5,000 time in council chamber. I have 6,000 trespasses and 5 times you prosecute me, a Nazi pig. What is I want to speak right now? I want to speak right now to Council Ring. You, for my understanding, only one council who want what his people will be speak. This circus supposed to be stopped. Open better room in City Hall 1 day per week, you know what this means, from 9 to 9, so people can come and talk for 3 or 5 minutes without control this Nazi pig. Because all meeting what is we have here in exactly for 1 minute is a total Nazi control. This is exactly what's happened. I beg you, doing this ring, because I talk about this for 7 years, 10 years, nothing happened. Viva Trump, viva New American Revolution, stand up.
Okay, folks, we have reached the end of our list of public commenters that are signed up, so we will now close public comment and proceed. Will the clerk please read item 1 into the record? What? Wait, hold on.
When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win.
We have to adopt the agenda and the hours.
Sorry. Excuse me, I got a little bit ahead of myself. Yes, we are now, we must now go with the IRC. So we will now approve the IRC. Looking to see if there is any objection. Seeing no objection, the introduction and referral calendar will be adopted. Okay, let's move on to the agenda. If there is no objection, the agenda will be adopted. Hearing none, the agenda is adopted. Now finally, we will get to the consent calendar. The items on the consent calendar are the minutes of May 13th and 20th, 2025, and Council Bill 120991, which is the payment of the bills. Is there anybody that would like to remove the items on the consent calendar? Hearing none, I move to adopt the consent calendar. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the consent calendar. Will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the consent calendar?
Councilmember Moore. Councilmember Rink.
Aye.
Yes.
Councilmember, thank you. Councilmember Moore and Councilmember Rink. Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember Saka.
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon.
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss.
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth.
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle.
Aye.
Council President Nelson.
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
The consent calendar items are adopted. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the minutes and the legislation on the consent calendar on my behalf? Okay, now we'll move on to the committee reports. For full city council, we're going to go with items 1 and 2. Will the clerk please read those items into the record?
Agenda items 1 and 2, clerk file 314465, a full unit lot subdivision of Modern Homes LLCs to subdivide one development site into 14 unit lots at 901 Northwest 57th Street, Council Bill 120990, approving and confirming the plat of Ballard Corner Townhouses.
Thank you very much. So the clerk has read items 1 and 2 into the record, and Councilmember Solomon will address both items together, and then each item will be moved separately after discussion. Councilmember Solomon, you're recognized to address items 1 and 2.
Thank you, Council President. Today, the Council is considering the final plat approval for the Ballard Corner Townhomes unit lot subdivision located at the southwest corner of Northwest 57th Street and 9th Avenue Northwest in the Ballard neighborhood of Council District 6. The site is located in a low-rise 2 or L2 multifamily residential zone with an M1 mandatory housing affordability. Subdivision of this site will facilitate the sale of approximately 14 unit lots developed with townhouse units that have already been built. And just for the public to understand, and as a reminder to council, procedurally review by the city occurs in three primary steps. First is SDCI, SDOT, and other city and county departments charged with providing services to the site review the preliminary plat, and SDCI makes a recommendation to the city hearing examiner. Second, the hearing examiner holds an open record public hearing, reviews the preliminary plat, and issues a decision. Consistent with state law, an affirmative decision by the hearing examiner constitutes authorization to develop the improvements on the preliminary plat. And finally, after the improvements have been made, SDOT, SDCI, and the council reviews the final plat to determine whether the improvements are consistent with the preliminary plat and any conditions imposed by the hearing examiner. This final step is necessary for the individual lots to be certified for sale. If the developed improvements were inconsistent with those shown on the preliminary plat, or if the conditions imposed by the hearing examiner were not met, council could disapprove or return the proposed final plat. So the hearing examiner approved the preliminary plat with the conditions on September 14th, 2023. SDOT, SDCI, and central staff have reviewed the final plat and determined that the improvements are consistent with the preliminary plat. I urge that the council vote and put the clerk file on file and approve the council bill.
Thank you very much, and that is why we are bringing it to full council right now. Okay. Are there any comments or questions on the legislation? All right, hearing none. We'll now consider each item separately, starting with item 1. I move to file clerk file 314465. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to file the clerk file. Are there any final comments? All right. Is that you, Councilmember Moore? No? Okay, I saw your hand up there. All right. No final comments. Will the clerk please call the roll on the filing of the clerk file?
Councilmember Moore?
Aye.
Councilmember Rink?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivera?
Aye.
Councilmember Saka?
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon?
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss?
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth?
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle?
Aye.
Council President Nelson?
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
The motion carries and the clerk file is placed on the record. All right, we will now consider item 2. I move to pass Council Bill 120990. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded to pass the bill. Are there any final comments? Well, I will say that although I do not sit on the Land Use Committee, based on your description, Councilmember Solomon, what I am hearing is more housing, which is exactly what we need. So thank you very much for bringing this forward, and I will be voting in support. All right, I am not seeing any further questions. All right, will the clerk please call the roll on the passage of the bill?
Councilmember Moore?
Aye.
Councilmember Rink?
Yes.
Councilmember Rivera?
Aye.
Councilmember Saka?
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon?
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss?
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth?
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle?
Aye.
Council President Nelson?
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
All right, the bill passes and the chair will sign it. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the legislation on my behalf? All right, item 3. Will the clerk please read item 3 into the record?
The report of the Governance, Accountability, and Economic Development Committee, agenda item 3, resolution 32170, granting conceptual approval to the Downtown Seattle Association to install, maintain, and operate interactive media kiosks in public places located in the Metropolitan Improvement District. The committee recommends the resolution be adopted.
Okay, so as chair of the committee, I'll provide the committee report. We had a presentation and discussion at our May 8th meeting and had a unanimous vote out of our May 22nd meeting for this resolution, granting conceptual approval for DSA to initiate this, the process of installing, maintaining, and operating these digital interactive kiosks throughout first the downtown core, or the Metropolitan Improvement District. I have to say that I've been working on this legislation since pretty much the first month since I was elected in 2022. And I have been in strong support for many reasons. First of all, these interactive kiosks will be a tremendous asset to all who live, work, and visit downtown and other neighborhood business districts. They're a means to guide downtown workers, residents, and visitors to our local small businesses because users will be able to look up where to eat, shop, play, right where they are. And as Economic Development Chair, this was the first reason why I was strongly in support of this initiative. They will also provide multiple other public benefits, such as free Wi-Fi without storing information, and they will provide real-time transit schedules, library hours, critical emergency response information, and all in multilingual languages. And finally, they will generate revenue for our neighborhood business improvement areas that provide essential, not supplemental, but essential services such as trash pickup, graffiti removal, security, and security that benefit the whole community. So just for folks' reminders, Phase 1 will allow for 30 kiosks to be installed prior to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. That's partly what is guiding our timeline here. And then Phase 2 will allow 30 more kiosks deployed in the Metropolitan Improvement District and 20 additional kiosks installed among the various business improvement areas, and those exist in Ballard, the U District, Soto, and West Seattle Junction. And we've received strong letters of support from all of those BIAs. Now, when it comes to downtown, according to the Downtown Seattle Association, it's anticipated that the devices will generate annual generate an annual revenue of approximately $1.1 million for DSA over the life of the initial term of the program. $1.1 million could fund all of the below. 10 downtown ambassadors to enhance cleaning, hospitality, and safety in public areas, 15 outdoor concerts, 15 art installations outdoors, 5 electric cleaning trikes, the beautification and programming of 2 public plazas, and 1 electric street vacuum to enhance cleaning of protected bike lanes and sidewalks. And these investments will be recommended through the annual proposed mid-budget and work plan. So that's a good reason for me to support this, this legislation on its own. But an overarching benefit is that these will also catalyze pedestrian improvements and streetscape beautification on every block that the kiosks are located. Things like decluttering or removing redundant or damaged infrastructure. They'll spur a real strategy, which could include bike racks, hanging flower baskets, murals to make them more attractive, which gathers people to that location to use these devices, and regular trash and debris removal at all kiosk legislations. So when you think about where these are located, think about those improvements on every block. And all of this will be paid for by the vendor. So I urge my colleagues' support, and we will have our discussion now. But thank you very much for your consideration. Are there any comments?
Yes, Council President.
Councilmember Strauss.
Is this the time to move my amendments?
Yes, it would be.
Thank you, Council President. I move to amend Resolution 32170 as presented on Amendment A.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to amend the resolution as presented on Amendment A. Councilmember Strauss, as sponsor, you're recognized in order to address it.
Thank you. This is a pretty simple amendment as written. The amendment would prohibit the deployment of camera technology on digital kiosks as the condition of the term permit ordinance. This to me is a common sense measure we can take to calm any concerns and to build support for the technology. One of my biggest concerns that I've heard is with privacy. People want to know that these kiosks won't be used as surveillance tools intentionally or unintentionally. It's my understanding, and I've received good confirmation, that it will not intentionally be used as surveillance. And I also understand that the city has no plans to use these kiosks for that surveillance factor. However, there are valid concerns that the city could one day change its mind, or more likely a nefarious actor could hack into the system. There are other levels of government that could also use the access to these cameras that in ways that we can't imagine right now, and I don't need to tell anyone up here that these are uncertain times. Ultimately, it's a choice between being proactive or leaving them in place so that some people can take some selfies. To me, this is a simple choice, which is why I'm bringing this amendment forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any comments on Amendment A? Councilmember Kettle.
Thank you, Chair. I was not quick enough to get my hand up to speak to the bill overall. I just want to thank.
Will be an option.
Yeah, I will say it right now. You know, I believe, as I've been stating in committee, that I view this primarily through a public safety lens. I think it's really important. Features like the 911 call button, for example, and then also how the funds will be used afterwards with the DSA MID, BIAs, which for most people you don't realize, obviously it's a business improvement, but it also has a very strong public safety aspect to it too. And I think this public benefit on the front end and the back end is really helpful. With respect to the 3 amendments, I'm going to be voting no on each. I recognize the points made on each. I believe that can work with, on the first one, for example, with my Transportation Committee chair and myself as Public Safety Chair on that one, and then others as well later on. But I just wanted to present this bill and have it pass clean. I think that would be better overall, and that's going to be my position. So basically speaking to the bill and, as it turns out, all 3 amendments at the same time. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any other comments on Amendment A? Well, I will add my comments. So just for the public's knowledge, we have had discussion in committee about the fact that these do not, the kiosks will not include or have surveillance technology on them. And the cameras located on the kiosks are only for the purpose of taking selfies. And this may seem like a trivial or a silly feature, but in fact, it's actually, according to the vendors and people that have informed GSA on how they're used in other cities, this is actually one of the most popular uses for these kiosks in places that they've been installed around the country. I believe there have been 23 other cities where these are located. The cameras can't be used for surveillance or activated without direct input from a user. So I will be opposing this amendment. Are there any comments on Amendment A? All right, hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of Amendment A?
Councilmember Moore,
No.
Councilmember Rink,
Yes.
Councilmember Rivera,
No.
Councilmember Saka,
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon,
No.
Councilmember Strauss,
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle,
No.
Council President Nelson.
No.
4 in favor, 5 opposed.
The motion fails and Amendment A is not adopted. All right, are there any further comments?
Yes, Council President.
Councilmember Strauss.
Council President, I move to amend Resolution 32170 as presented on Amendment B, Version 2.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to amend the resolution as presented on Version 2 of Amendment B. Councilmember Strauss is sponsored. You're recognized in order to address it.
Thank you, Council President. Colleagues, this amendment would provide a term permit for 17 years for the digital kiosk term permit and no renewals. This amendment is different from what I discussed yesterday, which was a 10-year term permit with a renewable 10-year term. From the feedback I received, it is clear that there is a difference in perspective from business perspective from the public as compared to the public policy perspective. From the public policy perspective, I've never seen a term permit not renewed, which means when we approve term permits, it is assumed the permit will be utilizing all renewal opportunities. Said another way, it's expected term permits are utilized for their full initial and all renewal terms. And from a business perspective, certainty is the most important element. In this case, even though government assumes all extensions are all but guaranteed, from a business perspective, uncertainty is added with the required renewal. I bring this updated amendment forward to clarify, 1, a 10-year term permit with a 10-year renewal is a total of 20 years, and 2, the desire for certainty is important, which is why I'm bringing forward the amendment for a single 17-year term. Yesterday, it was said that my amendment is a poison pill. To me, this feels like an impugning of my motives and resulted in making it more difficult to do my job as a policymaker by making implications of my motive rather than being curious to understand my policy motivations. My motivations are not, in fact, to create a poison pill within the resolution. My motives are to create good public policy. I bring this amendment to the body because the resolution as written will set the term permit renewable terms for 30 years from now. To put this in perspective, cell phone technology 30 years ago is what is shown in the movie Clueless, with cell phones nearly half the size of the actor's face. A decade before that, Ferris Bueller used a cell phone that was so large it had to be installed in a car. To all those asking today, who is Ferris Bueller, just know that if you need to reduce the mileage on your odometer, putting the car in reverse doesn't work. I'm sure this hasn't crossed anyone's mind recently because, again, technology has advanced and odometers are now digital. A decade after Clueless, in 2004, cell phones could text. By 2014, cell phones were connected to the internet and had touchscreens. By 2024, cell phones are connected to 5G networks, and being called a cell phone is a misnomer because, from what I can tell, most people don't actually talk on the phone. In the 30 years between Ferris Bueller's epic day off and the 2014 cell phone technology went from suitcase size to connected to the internet with a touchscreen. Between Clueless's cell phones of half their face to today, the technology went from only being able to call in 1995 to the ability to work from home as a mini computer off of what is now called a cell phone. Colleagues, I ask you today, what technological changes will happen in the next 30 years? For additional context, in 1995 Seattle, Jeff Bezos had just founded Amazon less than a year before. Pearl Jam had released Vitalogy, and A Better Man was a new hit on the radio. The Mariners were on their way to winning their first American League West title ever, and were months away from making a historic late-season comeback. And yes, I was at that game. Technology in 1995 was reaching its peak use. Who has a pager today? See, we have no doctors in the room. I'm fine with creating certainty for the kiosks, but I'm concerned with the longevity of the proposal before us. I don't know what Seattle will look like in 30 years from now, or even 15. That's why I think we need to strike a balance. We need to make sure that technology pencils out, create that certainty, and we also need to make sure that we preserve the flexibility of the city to make changes based on technological changes. I think this amendment strikes that balance. Thank you.
Do my colleagues have any comments on the amendment? All right, well, I do. So first of all, I'll say that I oppose strongly this amendment. As I explained a little bit in briefings yesterday, I do believe that it would result in the end of this program, and here's why. First of all, the standard term for a permit has been 15 years with an administrative renewal for another 15 if conditions are not met. Ike requested 20 years, which is consistent with their deals in other cities. The compromise was 16.5 years to account for the install period. So basically, we've got a year and a half of the install period for the machines to be made and then installed, and then actually serving their purpose for another 15. The shortened, and at the end of any term, it is common for the term to be renewed at the city's decision after evaluation. The shortened period from changing this amendment at the last minute from 10 years to 17 years still has the same effect. It would basically be a non-starter. The shortened term period to 10 years or 17 years from the mayor's proposed 16.5-year period for the initial first term would be problematic because the effect of the amendment would in essence come at the loss of the city's option to renew for a new term at the city's discretion. And the term, the initial term of 16.5 is the minimum amount of time for the vendor to recuperate its expenses, its investments, so that we can also enjoy the benefits, the public benefits that I mentioned at the beginning of this discussion, including the improvements to the pedestrian environment on every block that they are located. So functionally, the mayor's proposal still achieves the same outcome as this amendment, but allows the city for an option to renew. This is why an option to renew is included in pretty much every term permit that is issued by the city. Without the option to renew, the vendor would have to reapply again, and we would go through the same process a second time. That is not good for business because it does add a level of unpredictability, which is a major barrier to any venture, small or large. So from the GSA, Ike, and the standpoint of the mayor's office, who negotiated this, the first 16.5-year term with an option to renew is very important. It allows GSA's kiosk vendor to recoup the costs of its investment, including hardware acquisition, software development, and ongoing maintenance. And so all of these initial and ongoing costs require significant forward commitment of capital and funds. It's this capital investment that results in significant benefits to the general public, the City of Seattle government, and participating BIAs at no cost to them. I repeat many times. In fact, not only do these public benefits and kiosk functionality accrue without any cost, it's this investment which also yields additional ongoing revenue share for the GSA, BIAs, and also the city if it decides to implement phase 2. And so all of these benefits are made possible by ensuring that there is a reasonable and adequate payback period for the initial capital investment. So that is a big reason why I will be opposing this. We can't, this is an opportunity that this amendment could very well jeopardize, in fact, would very much likely. Now, I admit that the question of the technology that is being mentioned here about technology obsolescence. I agree that smartphones were very different 15 years ago. In 2010, they are different from where they are now. But if you really look at 10 years ago, 2015, those phones are practically identical to the brand new ones for sale today, with the exception of the software updates and the features that are included in them. When technology matures, changes become incremental. Outdoor digital wayfinding kiosks were first introduced in the U.S. in 2018. 7 years later, it is now a mature technology that is here to stay. A time frame of 16.5 years with an extension is entirely reasonable. All right. Are there any further comments on Amendment B, version 2? All right. If I hear no other, just a second, let me see the screen. It's hard to look at two different things. I am not seeing anybody else's hands raised. If that is the case, will the clerk please call the roll on this amendment?
Councilmember Moore.
No.
Councilmember Rink.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivera.
No.
Councilmember Saka.
No.
Councilmember Solomon.
No.
Councilmember Strauss.
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth.
No.
Councilmember Kettle.
No.
And Council President Nelson.
No.
2 in favor, 7 opposed.
Thank you. The motion fails and version 2 of the Amendment B is not adopted. Are there any further comments?
Council President,
Yes, you're recognized to speak.
thank you so much. I'm going to move to amend Resolution 32170 as presented on Amendment C on the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to amend the resolution as presented on Amendment C. Councilmember Hollingsworth is sponsor. You're recognized in order to address it.
Thank you. I didn't hear a second there. I was going to second my own self. But
I think that's allowed.
is it allowed? I don't know. This amendment, other than the revenue earmark for BIAs and DSA, this resolution states our intention that the rest of the revenue will go towards improvements citywide. I know there are some districts that might not have BIAs or some areas that are not included. And I think it's important that I know that we have a lot of focus downtown and other places, but there are other districts that are the economic engine of our city, that are the small businesses in our community that hold it down every single day. And so my hope is that we can be able to share the love from the funds generated to other places around the city for different improvement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any comments? Councilmember Rivera.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Hollingsworth, for watching out for the businesses across the city. I have a lot of businesses in the D4 that I care a lot about. I do have a question about this amendment, and apologies that I didn't ask them before today. But I'm wondering, with this arrangement, any revenue outside of or any revenue that is anticipated by this amendment won't be for several years, correct?
Could you ask that question?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I thought, and well, central staff's not here, so Council President, you may know. So the initial revenue from this will be going to the BIAs and DSA, and it's a certain percentage, and then at some later point in time, if there is more revenue than anticipated, that is the revenue that's being addressed by this amendment, correct?
Well, that is the revenue that would accrue to the city, and I suppose that is what you are.
That is correct. That is my
The
intention.
later.
Correct.
Like maybe even
later.
a few years from now.
That is correct.
Do you know if that revenue could be used for any purpose? I guess what I'm getting to is that revenue that could go to general fund later? I'm wondering, or is that revenue anticipated to go to BIAs and DSA? I'm just trying to figure out if it's something that we could use for any purpose, and then so should we dictate now, or should we wait for the legislation to come and then figure out if that makes sense? So
the original intention was to go towards different improvement, like small business districts that might not have a BIA. So for example, Columbia City, right? To be able to have signage or different activation pieces, to fund those things where it can stimulate some type of attraction towards a business area to be able to bring more people to those areas. So yeah, the intention is very vague, just so we could be able to kind of navigate this as we go. But the intention behind it is to make sure that other areas that do not have BIAs be able to benefit from this benefit from this. benefit from this benefit. I'll get a text from my mother about my English.
To ensure that it's not just going downtown, for instance, is the real, but we'll figure it out when the legislation comes. Is that a fair assessment, Councilmember Hollingsworth?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Got it. So I am still wrapping my mind around what it means if the revenue goes to benefit BIAs where these are not located, but I completely understand the spirit of this. We're trying to spread the revenue around, the benefits of the revenue around, which is, for some neighborhoods and neighborhood districts, primarily cash, let's just say, and or some improvements to the neighborhood business districts. I would like to better understand how how this would be integrated into the terms of the ordinance. I think that would be a really good place for me to better understand. However, I am going to vote for this to signal my support for the spirit of this, which is also to ensure that other neighborhoods where there are not current BIAs exist. I think that District 3 would benefit very strongly from a business improvement area, and this could perhaps, not voting for this could perhaps incentivize a BIA to form more quickly. However, that has been a process that has been discussed for a long time. So we don't want to wait around for that, and we do want to make sure that there are potential benefits for other neighborhoods. And so I will be voting in support of this. So that is, I thank you very much for bringing this forward. Are there any other comments?
Yes. Council President?
Please.
I just wanted to state briefly for the record that the Columbia City neighborhood does have a BIA. It's very small.
Yes.
And there are other business associations within that corridor. You have the Columbia City Business Association, again, the Business Improvement Area, and the Rainier Avenue Business Coalition, the Rainier ABC. So there are those functioning groups that are trying to do some things. They do not have the capacity of, say, University District, Ballard, or Soto. Rainier Beach needs some help. So this is definitely a neighborhood that could benefit from the proceeds of this program to help those businesses in the Rainier Beach neighborhood, because since the Rainier Beach Merchants Association basically folded years ago, even prior to COVID, the neighborhood has been struggling. So I will be voting in support of this because of the business districts in my neighborhood that could use, or my neighborhoods, they could use this kind of help. So thank you.
Yep. Here's my prediction. These kiosks will be so wildly popular and commonly used and well used, they will be demanded in other areas of the city. The whatever happens in phase 1 and phase 2 will be extended because we don't have a limitation on the term limit, on the terms. And not only do they generate revenue for business districts, they also are, they're a value add. They're an enhancement. They do enhance the experience of people. We're a tech town and a city of innovation. And these I see as not just replicating the functionality of a phone. They serve as places where people can gather, perhaps join a conversation with somebody else standing around. So who knows what the future brings when it comes to locating these kiosks in other parts of the city. But I do want to preserve the spirit of this amendment going forward. So that's, so again, thank you very much. All right. I'm not seeing any further comments on this amendment, so will the clerk please? Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Councilmember Rivera and Councilmember Moore had their hand up.
All right.
I should have said, I support this, Councilmember Hollingsworth. Like I said earlier, I really appreciate you keeping your eye on the businesses across the city. I have one BIA, but many business corridors that don't have BIAs in the district that really could benefit from some support. And so thank you for bringing this forward on behalf of the D4 businesses.
And I always remember President Juarez talking about a BIA in Lake City also.
And I think Councilmember Moore has her hand up.
Yes, and Councilmember Moore, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you very much, Councilmember Hollingsworth, for bringing this, for thinking about the smaller business areas. Lake City is attempting to establish its own BIA, but it is in desperate need of help, as are some of the other smaller commercial areas throughout District 5. So thank you very much. I will be supporting this.
All right.
Thank you, Council President. I apologize. For the record, I knew there was a BIA in Columbia City. My bad, Councilmember Solomon, but there's not one in Beacon Hill. And I know that they have a strong small business group. Just like a lot of people don't know, the nightlife engine is on Capitol Hill, and they do not have a BIA. And I know that is one thing that is in the works and so forth. And so, it's just thinking about those neighborhoods that are very strong economically and that need a little love. So thank you.
Yeah, and note to the Office of Economic Development to continue work with Capitol Hill and other areas that have expressed. There are staffers dedicated to helping neighborhood business districts become BIAs, and so really hope that that remains a well-staffed part of OED so we can keep up that work. All right, I am not seeing any other comments. Will the clerk please call the roll on Amendment C?
Councilmember Moore,
Aye.
Councilmember Rink,
Aye.
Councilmember Rivera,
Aye.
Councilmember Saka,
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon,
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss, Councilmember Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle,
No.
Council President Nelson,
Aye.
8 in favor, 1 opposed.
The motion carries and Amendment C is adopted. Are there any further comments on the resolution as amended? I'm not seeing any, so I'll go ahead and gush a little bit more here. And we're not done. We still have a council bill to approve, so this is not the end of the deal. We will have legislation discussed again in committee at the next committee on June 12th, which will have all the terms and the commitments that exist in it and all the details. But for me, this is very exciting because this is the first time there is a physical thing, a physical structure, a new enhancement, a value add to the streets of downtown. And as I said a moment ago, I see them as not just catalysts for the pedestrian improvements, the block faces, all the emergency information that it will be provided on these kiosks, but also it's the first time that there is something brand new that's happening in downtown. And for me, it's a manifestation of our ongoing efforts to continue downtown's revitalization. I would be remiss if I didn't also hammer home the World Cup and a bunch of people coming to our town that don't speak English as a first language, don't know our city, and will also benefit from this from these kiosks, and that's partly what's driving our timeline. We've received so many emails today, many in strong support. For example, Visit Seattle, the Urban League, IVARS, the Aquarium, the Seattle FIFA World Cup Organizing Committee, the Kraken, Wild Ginger, Hotel Andra, the Deputy Director for Art for the Seattle Art Museum, and downtown resident and former Councilmember Sally Bagshaw. We also, as I mentioned before, received a letter that was signed by 23 signatories representing strong support. I'm not going to go through and read all of those names, but I do want to say that it's clear that there is widespread support for this, and I appreciate having gotten to this exciting point in this process. So, with no further comments, will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption?
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There are multiple hands up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, this always happens. It's hard for me. Did you have your hand up before Councilmember Saka?
Yes.
Councilmember Saka was first?
Yeah.
Okay, Councilmember Strauss, go ahead.
No, Councilmember Saka's going.
Okay, Councilmember Saka.
All right. Thank you, Madam Council President. And I am proud to support this legislation today. And it's not just me supporting it. I'm proud to join the community of stakeholders. You ticked off a long list. I'll tick off and emphasize a small sample of that. But yeah, the DSA, SOTO BIA, the Seattle World Cup Organizing Committee, Commute Seattle, Visit Seattle, Seattle Children's Research Institute, the Junction BIA in West Seattle, Seattle Urban League. Almost out of breath, and that was only a sample. But this technology is a valuable economic tool and to invest in programming, in part to help keep our streets and communities safe and clean. I'm impressed with the slew of options the kiosks offer, including basic transportation information, wayfinding, public safety, art, promoting culture, and community events and highlighting neighborhood organizations. And of course, our BIAs, proud that A few of the BIAs featured in this are, two of them are in my council district. I think this tool will be especially valuable as we enter FIFA World Cup, and a great way to integrate our city and welcome our many visitors. As a non-practicing technology lawyer, using technology and innovation is to improve our city is a huge priority for me and my office. And I'm excited about the connectivity that these devices offer and ultimately the economic development opportunities that they bring. Proud to support this legislation today. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Strauss.
Thank you. Just final remarks on the bill. I do disagree with the characterization that this technology is stagnating or stabilizing. A decade ago, cell phones were in fact shaped the same way as they are today with touchscreens. But I ask you, in 2014, could you create a fictional picture using artificial intelligence? Could you karaoke from your phone? Could you legitimately take a business meeting from your phone? I've seen people come to our committee table here in City Council virtually using their phone to do business in this forum that we're sitting in today. And this would have been unimaginable in 2014. The amendments I brought forward today were all voted down were small, smart choices we should make. And specifically the 17 or 20-year term were created with the understanding that capital funds needed to be recouped, as our colleague noted in their reasoning to vote down my amendment. I'll state at the beginning of this process, again for the record here, that this is the first time I've ever seen a term permit not be transmitted through the Transportation Committee. I will vote in favor of this resolution today, as it is the outset moment to create the term permit with the ordinance that will come later. And I will ask that these two factors, cameras and duration, be addressed in the intervening time of creating the final term permit. Thank you, colleagues.
Councilmember Rink.
Thank you, Council President. Colleagues, I will be voting no on today's resolution for a couple of reasons. I want to name that the Seattle Design Commission had voted against a recommendation for this project. From what is before us today, their recommendations have not been incorporated. And I was supportive of Amendment B, which would have addressed some of the concerns I had with length of term. What is outlined before us is a length of term that is actually longer than I've even been alive. And technology changes fast. I know I've seen it in my own lifetime, starting in school, starting with a floppy disk to then now using cloud-based technology. And lastly, I have reservations also based on the legal advice that we've received on this. And so it is my understanding that the next step in this process is the work on the ordinance. I hope that some of my broader concerns about this proposal could be addressed in the ordinance, but for today, I'll be voting no on the resolution before us. Thank you.
Are there any further comments? I am not seeing any other comments, so will the clerk please call the roll on the amended legislation?
Councilmember Moore.
No, sorry, no.
Councilmember Rink.
No.
Councilmember Rivera.
Yes.
Councilmember Succa.
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon.
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss.
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth.
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle.
Aye.
Council President Nelson.
Aye.
7 in favor, 2 opposed.
Thank you very much. The resolution is adopted as amended, and the chair will sign it. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the legislation on my behalf? Okay. Will the clerk please read item 4 into the record?
The report of the Parks, Public Utilities, and Technology Committee, Agenda Item 4, Council Bill 120982, relating to the redevelopment and operation of Seattle Public Schools Memorial Stadium at Seattle Center, authorizing the mayor to execute interlocal agreement with Seattle School District Number 1 for the joint redevelopment of Memorial Stadium and associated improvements benefits the Seattle Center campus. Committee recommends the bill pass.
Councilmember Hollingsworth, as chair of the committee, you're recognized to provide the committee report.
Thank you, Council President. What we all have been waiting for, that's why everyone stayed for this. Council Bill 120982, Memorial Stadium. This authorizes the mayor's execution of the interlocal agreement with Seattle Public Schools and the development agreements with Memorial Stadium Redevelopment, LLC. This also authorizes negotiations of an operating and maintenance agreement with Seattle Public Schools and also Memorial Stadium. Upon our approval today, the contractor will begin demolition and construction of the project slated to be completed by September of 2027. And definitely want to thank the Seattle Center, Seattle Public Schools, the One Roof Stadium Partnership, and then also the former council members who put a lot of time and work. Former council members and that group, but also I know that we have in our presence here former council member Rob Johnson with One Roof Foundation, and then also our deputy mayor, once then former council member Tim Burgess as well, for their leadership and work on this. I know this is a long time coming. We just get to carry it over the not necessarily the finish line, but kind of scoot it a little bit closer to the end zone. And colleagues, I hope that you will vote in favor of this incredible opportunity for our Seattle public students to have a vibrant and state-of-the-art facility where they can learn, play, and grow. And this helps us move us closer to that vision for our kids. And I think every kid in Seattle Public Schools deserves a facility like the one at Memorial Stadium, what it's going to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Strauss.
Thank you. I spent a lot of time in committee gushing about our former council members, Deputy Mayor Burgess, Councilmember Johnson, Councilmember Juarez, Councilmember Bagshaw. I swear today we had a quorum of former council members here in the chambers. It's pretty amazing. And as Councilmember Hollingsworth stated, this is us just getting it across the finish line. I can remember it was December of 2017 in my first few weeks here at City Hall when Jackie Kearns came into Councilmember Bagshaw's office, and I said to myself, well, shucks, this should be quick, this should be fast, this should be easy. And sure enough, it was not. And just for everyone continuing to work over the decades to get this to the finish line, congratulations. I'm excited. Let's go.
Councilmember Kettle.
Thank you, Council President, Chair. Yes, I want to thank everyone involved. I've done this in different fora and different times, and so today all I want to do is note, because it's not mentioned in the definition of the ordinance here for the council bill, and I don't see anything regarding the attachments and the like. So I just want to briefly speak about the memorial wall. Over 762 young Seattleites who gave their lives in World War II in defense of our nation. And I think what we're doing as a city today, as this part of the project, reflects well upon the city, because we are fixing the wrongs. Some of them had already been fixed, and as I said before, and they're not represented here today, I don't think, no, the school district for some of the basic upkeep. But this project fixes some of the structural challenges as noted by my VFW post, Ballard Eagleson post 3063. And I am thankful, and I think I can say this on behalf of the Post, but all the veteran service organizations. Thank you to the entire team for this, for doing right related to the memorial wall. Thank you.
Councilmember Rivera.
Thank you. This has been a long time in the making, and I'm so happy that it's finally going to get done on behalf of all those space and community members for that matter. And I also want to call out this is a great example of a private-public partnership. We need more of those across the city, because this is really going to help a lot of kids, a lot of youth, and a lot of community members, because we figured out a way to work together, come together to make it happen in this collaborative way. So wanted to also recognize that. the folks that are in here and those that are not in chambers who really had a big hand in making this happen. I'm so happy this is moving forward. We deserve to have a great stadium in that location and upgrade that we can all be excited and proud about. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other comments? I'm not seeing any. All right. Closing comments from the sponsor.
I have none. Yeah.
Do you have another comment, Councilmember Kettle? Well, I just want to say, speaking of the memorial wall, that is where I first got to know you, Councilmember Kettle, and your advocacy on this. And so it does seem like, you know, things are coming together, and it's a symbolic alignment. All right, will the clerk please call the roll on the passage of the legislation?
Councilmember Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember Rink.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember Saka.
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon.
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss.
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth.
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle.
Aye.
Council President Nelson.
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
The bill passes and the chair will sign it. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the legislation on my behalf? All right, congratulations, people out there who've been working on this for a long time. Okay, will the clerk please read the next item into the record?
Agenda items 5 through 7, Council Bill 120-966 relating to Seattle Public Utilities, revising, consolidating, and enacting provisions related to systems development charges for water, sewer, and drainage infrastructures. The committee recommends the bill pass as amended. Council Bill 120-967 related to Seattle Public Utilities, authorizing the general manager / CEO of Seattle Public Utilities to develop its municipal assessment reimbursement area authority. Council Bill 120-968, amending Ordinance 127-156, which adopted the 2025 budget, including the 2025 through 2030 capital improvement program. The committee recommends that the bills pass.
Okay, as the sponsor of the bill, you're recognized to speak to these two together.
Thank you, Council President. So I'll talk about all three.
Together.
I'll talk about all three bills. And just for a point of clarity, do we have to vote on each bill individually real quick? The intent of these bills is to moderately increase charges to the development projects that connect to SPU's infrastructure to allow SPU to cost share on the move on more expensive mainline extensions that are sometimes required for developers. The ultimate goal is to unlock properties that haven't been developed due to the need for mainline extensions, hopefully increasing the supply of housing over time. And this was done in conjunction with House Bill 1110, as we know that there are going to be more opportunities for housing to be developed throughout the city. SPU will also look for other developments that occur over time and benefit from mainline extensions to repay SPU for portions of those projects. The first bill, 120-967, increases the developer charges, also known as system developer charges, for water connections, establishing SDCs, which is system development charges, for drainage and wastewater. The second bill, 120-968, provides SPU the authority to recoup its cost-sharing investments for future developments. And the third bill, 120-969, amends the 2025 budget and the appropriation authority to add and fund 6 new positions in SPU to manage this program. I want to thank my colleagues on the committee for your work on this. I know we did 3 committees to make sure that we had all the right language, and definitely want to thank Councilmember Rivera on her amendments and information regarding the affordability piece for our residents. I know that is on the top of mind of all of my colleagues as we're talking about the costs in the city, and affordability is the #1 thing. And so thank you for the amendment to make those bills better as well. Looking forward to the vote today, and I encourage you all to vote yes.
All right. Additional comments, please, from colleagues. Go ahead, Councilmember Rivera.
Thank you, Council President, and thank you, Councilmember Hollingsworth, for shepherding this through your committee. Our infrastructure is aging, and also as we're trying to build more housing so we have more affordability, we need to have the infrastructure there. At the same time, we don't want to saddle our folks who are having trouble making ends meet and our retirees, in addition, who are living in fixed income with expenses. And so I really want to thank you for taking the time so I could bring forth the best amendment I could with the ability that we had under the laws to create a deferment for folks that are under the 80% AMI who might want to build a dadu on their place so that they're able to afford to stay on their property in some way. So really just want to thank you for taking the time. We did have 3 meetings because that took a little longer, and it's so important because we are trying to address affordability and we're trying to make sure that we're doing the best that we can for our residents. So thank you for that.
All right. Looking for additional comments? Sometimes it's easier for me to just ask that you waive from the dais. I don't see any further comments, so will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Moore.
Sorry, Jody. I apologize. Just to clarify, we're only voting right now on item number 5.
Right.
Council Bill 120966. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember Rink. Yes. Councilmember Rink.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember Saka.
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon.
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss.
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth.
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle.
Aye.
Council President Nelson.
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
Thank you very much. The bill passes and the chair will sign it. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the legislation on my behalf? Okay, we will now vote on the next item. We'll now consider item 6. Are there any final comments on Council Bill 120967? All right, I don't see any further comments. Will the clerk please call the roll on the passage of Council Bill 120967?
Councilmember Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember Rink.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember Saka.
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon.
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss.
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth.
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle.
Aye.
Council President Nelson.
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
Chair will sign it. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the legislation on my behalf? Okay, we'll now consider item 7. Are there any final comments on Council Bill 120968? I'm seeing none. All right. Will the clerk please call the roll on the passage of Council Bill 120968?
Councilmember Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember Rink.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember Saka.
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon.
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss.
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth.
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle.
Aye.
Council President Nelson.
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
The bill passes and the chair will sign it. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the legislation on my behalf? And will the clerk please read item 8 into the record?
Agenda item 8, Resolution 32171, authorizing commencement of cable franchise contract renewal proceedings in accordance with the provisions of 47 USC Section 546, and written request from Wave Division 1 LLC. The committee recommends the resolution be adopted.
All right. Councilmember Hollingsworth, who has been very busy as chair of the committee, you're recognized to provide the committee report.
Thank you, Council President. I took up 3 pages of the agenda. My apologies. This is the last one, colleagues. Resolution 32171. This is our Information Technology Department's the Astound resolution. This resolution authorizes the city's formal 10-year cable franchise renewal proceedings with Astound and the implementation process to ensure the city complies with all of our obligations under the Federal Law and Cable Act of 1984. I want to thank our phenomenal our ITD department, our technology department for all their hard work on this. And also, Director Lloyd, I just had a meeting with him yesterday, and they will be coming to committee to talk to us about the overview of the IT department and the vision. And the presentation looks phenomenal. So hearing more about our cable franchise fees and how it's being implemented in the city and the future and how we're going to be sustainable and what that looks like. So colleagues, I urge your support on this. Thank you.
All right. Are there any comments on this legislation? Okay, will the clerk please call the roll on the adoption of the resolution?
Councilmember Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember Rink.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember Saka.
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon.
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss.
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth.
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle.
Aye.
Council President Nelson. 9 in favor, none opposed.
All right, the resolution is adopted and the chair will sign it. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the legislation on my behalf? All right, will the clerk please read item 9 into the record?
The report of the Public Safety Committee, Agenda Item 9, Council Bill 120977, relating to oversight of the police, revising the process for investigating complaints, naming the chief of police. The committee recommends the bill passes amended.
Okay, Councilmember Kettle, as chair of the committee, you're recognized to provide the committee report.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Councilmember Hollingsworth, for seating the agenda for the next phase, Public Safety Committee. Council Bill 120977 is really needed. It relates to investigations of the chief of police. Not expected was the fact that we would have over 70 complaints at this moment. And the restrictions in the initial bill, this combination has created challenges for the Office of Police Accountability in the carrying out of their duties and specifically Chief of Police investigations. The restrictions no doubt made sense when the bill was passed, but unfortunately experience shows that the complaints and the restrictions have basically affected OPA's ability to carry out its mission. Specifically related to the need for a comprehensive intake for any complaint, only OPA civilian supervisors when qualified civilians were available, nexus investigations being conducted by OIG, Office Inspector General. When they're carrying out their initial investigation, as part of that investigation, they find out other issues that needed to be investigated that was not addressed particularly well. And then we needed to update the notification process. We also brought in our third member of the accountability partner team, the Community Police Commission, into that as part of the quarterly reporting, and ultimately to ensure that the investigations are timely, thorough, and objective. In the end, this goes to 2 of 3 priorities for the Public Safety Committee this year, 2025. First, amending laws, fixing laws, and the like. Help create a more functional criminal justice system, and this bill does both of those. For those wondering, the third one is looking at our community safety program. So it's important to help set up the elements of our public safety for success, primarily in this case, the Office of Police Accountability, but also for the Office Inspector General and the Community Police Commission. So colleagues, with that, I ask for your support for this bill, Council Bill 120977. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much for that introduction and those comments. Are there any comments or questions from colleagues? All right. I'm not seeing any hands raised. I spoke to this in committee. So if they're seeing no questions or comments, will the clerk please call the roll on the passage of the bill?
Councilmember Moore.
Aye.
Councilmember Rink.
Yes.
Councilmember Rivera.
Aye.
Councilmember Saka.
Aye.
Councilmember Solomon.
Aye.
Councilmember Strauss.
Yes.
Councilmember Hollingsworth.
Yes.
Councilmember Kettle.
Aye.
Council President Nelson.
Aye.
9 in favor, none opposed.
All right, the bill passes and the chair will sign it. Will the clerk please affix my signature to the legislation on my behalf? All right, we've reached the end of our business, our legislation. There were no items removed from the consent calendar, and there is not a resolution for introduction and adoption today. I am seeing a hand raised by Councilmember Hollingsworth. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Council President. This is just for good of the order. I just wanted to be super quick and just wanted to address, and a couple weeks ago, I addressed the anti-Blackness and racism that some of us council members receive. And I had to call it out again today because there was a public comment saying, hey, what about the Black renters in Seattle? Directed at me specifically when a public commenter had spoke out about a former council member saying, something about me. And the disappointment that I see, you can call out policy, that is fair game. I rarely bring race into conversations when I'm talking to people. It's usually other people that bring that in. But when you call out someone's Blackness, that is racist, and that is racial gaslighting in our city. And it literally has no place in this, in our chambers. And it's violent. 75% of white people have never had a Black friend, 75%. So imagine their interaction being online or public comment, and they see someone questioning people's Blackness on council, and then they think it's okay to continue to do that. And then they say, oh, all Black people think like this, or all Black people should act this way. That is not social justice. That is trying to control Black people. And I will call it out every single time I have to sit here and listen to that, because that is using Black people. There are 3 things that people have extracted from Black people in this community. Number 1, it's resources. Number 2, it's exploiting labor. And number 3, it is taking Black pain for white dollars and weaponizing it. And I said it 3 weeks ago, and I'm gonna say it again. It is disgusting, and it's unacceptable, and it's racist. And I will continue to call it out every time that is being weaponized, our race, in that I don't hear them go and say to a white council member, what about the white renters? They specifically target Black people that have a difference of an opinion to them, and it's racist. And you can be anti-Black in this community. You can be a person of color and be anti-Black, okay? So I just had to say it because it's fake progressive and it's violence and it has no place in this chamber, and it's white supremacy in disguise. And I will continue to speak against it. Thank you, Council President.
Amen.
Thank you very much. I see your hand. Yep. Thank you very much for those comments. Councilmember Saka.
Thank you, Madam Council President. Thank you, Councilmember Hollingsworth. And for clarity and for the avoidance of doubt, I 100% stand with you, Councilmember Hollingsworth, and therefore stand against this kind of anti-Black racism. It's a circus what goes on in here sometimes. And this job is challenging, can be challenging. I do think we need to do, as an aside, need to do a better job of allowing constitutional speech, but at the same time getting through our business. But these kind of comments pop up over and over and over again. And in our city of Seattle, our progressive city of Seattle is real. To your point, I also think it's faux progressivism. As a Black man, some of the racism that I've experienced, both on the campaign trail as a candidate and now in office, now that I'm governing, it's not been from the far right, not been from the center. It's been from the ultra left progressive wing. And we need to call that kind of anti-Black messaging, anti-Black racism out every single time. I stand with, and I'm a black man, so we share common ancestry in common. And I can only imagine how the additional challenge that you might have or be experiencing as a woman, as a black woman who is queer. You can only imagine. But you're absolutely right about the anti-black racism here. Shame on them. You need to call it out and stand up. I'm standing with you and stand against that. So thank you for calling it is what it is.
Councilmember Solomon.
Thank you, Council President. There's no way I could not jump in and express my solidarity with my colleagues. This is I have a few years on you. And what I'm seeing now is kind of a watered down version of what I've experienced before. Rob, hopefully you didn't get too much of it when we were serving in the 446. I got it. You know, I'm seeing some of our colleagues who did things that would have been considered much worse, but got treatment that was much, me on the other hand, right? So again, calling it out when it happens in this chamber, calling it for what it is. And it's not just a microaggression. I mean, it's just an aggression, right? You know, I find it interesting that when I first sought this position back in 2019, I was being told by the left that I didn't understand the struggle. And that was coming from white people, that I did not understand what it was like. I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Right? So to have these kind of comments come to us today, that we don't respect renters, we don't understand, or a lot of assumptions are made about where we're coming from. Me being a corporate landlord, for example. By the way, I'm not a landlord anymore. So let's just get that off the table. And if anyone had bothered to talk to me as opposed to assume things about me, you would have known that. So there's a lot of assumptions going around, and let's stop that. Let's have honest conversations. Let's understand where we all are coming from, and let's respect each other. Let's talk to each other, not at each other. I can't hear you when you're yelling at me. Okay? So if you want to talk to me, I'm happy to talk to you. But I can't hear you when you're yelling at me. So let's come back down to respect people. That's it. I'm with you.
As a white person, I cannot, I have not experienced the racism that you have experienced, or say that I can understand your experience. I can only hope to understand the damage that you're describing, but it is unacceptable. The behavior of the commenters the past 3 meetings has been disrespectful, unruly, disruptive, and above all, racist. And we spoke of this in the choices that I have to establish order, et cetera, yesterday. But from the bottom of my heart, I am sorry that I regret that these meetings have become opportunities for the racist comments that are being expressed, and expressing one's solidarity with the folks that are expressing these comments amongst council members. I feel like. All I'll say is I am very sorry that this is going on. I stand with my black council members, and I hear you, and am seeking ways of doing better when it comes to running these meetings. So, but thank you very much, and I hope that the people that come to these meetings and express these hateful things are actually listening or will take note of your comments. So thank you. Did you have your hand up?
I did, Council President. I just, it is really troubling, and I thank my colleagues for speaking up. in addition to everything that's been said, it is just so troubling to me that people are coming here to say that they're speaking on behalf of.
Right.
That is not okay. You don't speak on behalf of, especially when you haven't even had a conversation with. And the taking advantage of people for your own gain is not okay. And obviously, I'm not a Black person. As a Latina woman, I have been the recipient of a lot of hate and people telling me I'm not Latina or Latina enough. I'm not really sure what that means exactly. And so still, I'm not comparing it. I am not Black. I don't know what that feels like, what that is, and what you struggle with. And I stand with you. I am just disheartened as a woman in my 50s to see all that is continuing to happen, and especially in a city that says and thinks of itself as so we are welcoming people to come talk to us and agree to disagree. But for a city that says that they want to speak for the people that don't have a voice, they're certainly not doing a very good job doing that, in my opinion. So anyway, thank you, colleagues, for raising this, because it's not okay. And I am not okay that this is happening to my colleagues here, what you have to deal with as Black people on this council. And it is, like I said, very disheartening that this is happening in our city. And I hope people are listening and taking note. It's just not okay. So, thank you.
It's the epitome of progressive hypocrisy, I would say, when what we're talking about here, and I am sorry. Thank you very much for, again, bringing it to our attention, but it's reprehensible that you have to. Is there any other business? Seeing no further business, we've reached the end of today's agenda. Our next regularly scheduled City Council meeting is on June 10th at 2 p.m. Hearing no further business, we are adjourned.